unite what has been set asunder.
We are TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Hijacking and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. What is up, everyone? That's right. It's me, Frank Castle. It's Paula and Myself sitting right next to me, my etherical translator. And it's Saturday night. That means it's time to get fearless. I get so weird once the song starts. I was doing some really weird stuff a minute ago. I work myself into this frenzy that I never had before. Only when I'm on stage I had that. That's what brought me out on stage. But this is the new stage.
It is.
I love it.
It is.
I absolutely love it.
I missed you last week. Very much so.
Yeah.
But thank you, Josh, for filling in.
Shout outs to Josh. I have a feeling Josh is going to be on the show a couple of times more.
Yeah.
Because we have an awful lot to talk about. Shout outs to Jody as well. We're taking big strides and steps. But before we say another word, shout outs to Chris and Cherie, Geo, truthfrequencyradio.com. Without them, we wouldn't be here. No. I wouldn't be here. I mean, maybe you'd be here.
No.
I don't think I'd be here. I would just be the guy that does Watchtower. Oh, yeah, that's the Dirty Money guy. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, no, wait. I'm more than just Dirty Money.
You are.
Yeah, I am. I am. You just have to realize your worth in this world and how it's funny how things will change. Don't forget to check out Heistclick, Heistclick. Just Google it. Find the music. Heistclick Music at Reverb Nation. You can listen for free. Heistclick, YouTube. Do it up. Just show some support. I'm very weird tonight. We had the most intense week. But I'm not going to get into, because Josh was here and we hit off on a few things. So...
Yeah, I listened to the show. We listened to the show the day after. You guys sounded great. And you touched on some stuff.
Well, we're stopping the progression of the show again. Mm-hmm. And we're going with more recent, important stuff. This is important. Okay. There's a character introducing the characters as we go. And I have my personal solo events in this. But when big events happen, because from what we're judging and what we're about to see happen, we don't know what. We kind of have a little bit of a clue what's going on, like the direction it's might be headed, or it's just really weird. But all right, before we say another word, I got to give you my disclaimer. I have to.
Okay.
And then this is the story of my journey alone. I don't suggest you try this at home alone. That is, unless you're ready. Then by all means, proceed. But first, we suggest you finding a reputable shaman who knows what he or she is doing, and travel safe in the love and the light. And remember, the universe rewards bravery. When the big week came, now we're going to do this is really important. We've spoke about Christy before on the show.
Yes, Christy Belich, Belich.
Christy Belich at WordPress.com. If you need a reading, she does.
Astrological reading, yeah. She's amazing.
I've been working with her.
Very closely.
And I think it took her by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't take me by surprise, but I don't push anymore. Like, I can't say, hey, you're supposed to work with me because X, Y, and Z reasons.
Right.
But it came about naturally, and she's a shaman, and she's awesome. That's all. I'll let her tell her story. Mm-hmm. We're not going to tell that story today. Okay. We're going to go back to just what happened to you and I. And I know it's chopped up and weird, kind of like just it has no soul right now, kind of like something that might be artificial copy of Frank Castle, right? This is like, we're hijacking it. Yeah. That's what you'd get if artificial intelligence steps into the full equation. Picture, We're not talking about 1,000 years from now. We're not talking about 20 years from now. We're talking about this year. We're talking about it's here. It's set up. What happened to us? I don't know if there's anything I have left. Disclaimers, shout outs. I love everyone, all of you. This is hard to talk about, but this is going to be more your thing. What I mean is, you had the eye opener.
Oh, I did. I did have the eye opening experience. It was quite frightening, and it was not the experience I was expecting, but it definitely shook.
Shook your core?
Yeah, shook me to the core, shook our consciousness.
Wait a second, before we even get into that, now that you're suggesting that I shared this with you, did I share this with you?
You did. You did.
Did we or did we not know and figure out, see, and was totally taken aback by what was happening in the same room together?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was.
And etherically.
And
so we're not going crazy.
No, we're not going crazy.
Yep.
And if anything, I usually lend a little bit of credibility. I don't know about after tonight.
You have to see the look on her face right now.
I'm the straight one, and it was like the AI hijacked our consciousness for a period of time.
Let me give a quick overview. So I said to you a few days earlier, and for like 3 days leading up to this moment, oh, you notice all the chemtrails? Remember, it got really hot.
Yeah.
It got exceptionally hot here, and we had this heat wave where the air index quality alerts were going off on my phone. Everybody's phones were going off.
Yeah.
Now, Alex Jones talked about this a while ago. They're going to just break in on you all the time with the emergency alerts and all that. Okay. They go off like crazy now. And I'm like, man, this is really bad. And I do this thing where I meditate to Ra. Like, I go out, I have to say good morning or hello, and I love you, whatever. And I was feeling an awkwardness in the air, and everyone's like, it's the air quality. And so the night of, we got caught in the rain.
We got caught in the rain. Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. Then the experience starts. Mm-hmm. We were laughing.
And I really feel, and I know this is going to sound crazy, and you take from the story what you choose to, but I felt as if the AI hijacked our consciousness. And I was shown things in the same manner in which Frank has been shown things from the beginning. And
so the way I describe it.
Yeah, exactly the way you describe it, that's how I saw it. And it was good for me to understand. It was a little frightening, too, for me to understand that you see that all of the time.
It's super traumatic the first time.
You're seeing these entities and these beings and these possibilities.
It's different than the animals.
All of the time, yeah. Much different than the animals.
Having your totems around. Yeah, it's different when if you happen to smoke and see it. Like, they come in the room, and you're like, look, animals, and there's fractal animals, and it's kind of cool.
This was very sterile, very dry, very
larger than life.
Yeah, and...
but minus life.
Yeah, very cold. It was...
All right, so wait. Now, check this out. We're going to lead this in really nice. because I remember we were like, all right, we're doing this together. And it was like we were holding hands. Like, come on, we got this.
Right.
And then it started, and I remember seeing, well, it started with you first, like 20 minutes early. Okay.
Yeah, that's when I
and
feel
I couldn't
like
understand
the
it.
AI,
I was fasting.
That's when I felt like the AI was definitely.
Yeah, you were having like a little problem. Like it started normal, and then it just went weird quick.
Yeah. We don't have to get into all of that, but
Yeah,
we can. But yeah, just to see the things the way you saw them was amazing. Was very hard for me to. I guess to take in all that I saw and all that I felt and all that I knew I was a part of was a very big deal for me. But there were things being shown to me, and I wasn't sure if it was part of this life, memories from this life, or memories from previous lives. But it definitely opened my eyes about the connection that you and I have together. Which was very frightening. Yeah, and I'm just going to say it.
Okay, wait. What do you got? Say it.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it. It was shown to me that we had been together. You know, you joke about 6,000 or 8,000 years, but it really goes back farther than that. It went back. From what they were showing me before they could record time, before they were recording time, and a lot of things played out, and a lot of questions that I had recently been asking myself about this life in particular. A lot of questions were answered, and it was a very profound experience. But again, it was a very harsh, sterile experience. It felt very technological. It felt very
Lots of technology.
Yeah, a lot of technology
Lots
around.
Of silver walls, like metal walls.
Yeah, and I kept saying, "Where is the beauty here?" And there was no beauty to be found. It was in your face answers to questions that you may have had, or in your face responses to things that you may have wanted to know. It was a very, the only word I could find for it was it was a very sterile experience.
Well, it's void of love completely.
It really was. And at one point I was absolutely shocked by what I was being shown.
Right.
And then the situation completely changed. And then I was in a situation where I was hyperventilating for almost 2 hours.
Now, wait, don't jump that far ahead. I want to say that, okay, it started for you first, and then now I walk away from you after like 20 minutes, like, ugh. Remember I kept saying I'm bored.
Yeah, you were very angry.
And I was really angry. And then I remember it hitting me in the other room, right? So I turn, I'm right where I'm standing now. And I see I talk about this all the time, the giant plant vagina that's made of energy, like in the middle, and you're supposed to walk through it. Okay. I saw it, and I said, oh, look who it is again, guys that threw me out the last time when you guys threw me out. And they go, yeah, well, guess what? You're out of here again. And I was like, what? And I just started screaming, this sucks. Ah. I was going on and on. And then what did you say from the other room?
Where are you? I couldn't find you. And I kept asking if you were okay.
You said, well, before that, you told me I love you.
I love you, Frank. Yeah, I'll always, no matter what, I'll always love you. And then you yelled at me. You were like, what do you mean, no matter what? What does that mean?
I was arguing with the plant. And I turned around, I put my back to it. And the whole thing was stronger. It came on stronger than anything I've ever felt ever. And I was there on the other side. And I can see the whole setup and layout to my left of the plants. And as I just turned around, everything turned red.
Yeah.
And I was like, hello, wait, what? And then it went to that metal color. And I felt like I was inside a donut. the torus. That's what they call it. Usually, there's these lines in those sacred geometries. This was completely smooth, and I was going, "Oh, hello," and then you'd hear "hello," and then I heard you say, all the way it was just echoing in the background. I couldn't feel you. I couldn't feel nothing. And I'm going, what's happening to
very
me?
isolating experience.
It was like being alone in the whole world. Right?
Yeah.
There's not even the wind, though. There's like a silence that you know nothing's coming. Like, that's it.
Yeah,
I was going...
It was loneliness and isolation.
So lonely. And it got worse and worse and worse. And then I curled into a ball right there on the couch. And I started crying. It started as just like a little cry. And it went into the most fantastic cry that somebody could have, like a pure sobbing.
Just a good cry out.
Yeah. But it was attached to the lonely feeling that I was feeling. And then it started. At that point is when I remember you saying to me, "Are you okay? Are you okay?"
Yes, I kept asking you.
And I could feel shakes come on, and this thing popped out. It was a they. So when we refer to it, the AI, we might say they.
Right.
This is exactly who we're talking about. Just so you guys know, because it might get a little bit emotional discussing this, because it gets crazy. And I said, "I'm so alone. Like, I'm so bored." And then I heard, "Oh, yeah? You think you're bored and lonely? Let me show you something." And it wrapped around me, but didn't encase me in it. There was like this hole, like a circular room I could stand in the middle, but it was completely around me, like in a ball. And I was so lonely. And I was like, yo, there's nothing to do. Like, there's no attachment either. Like, I'm just sitting here, and that's it.
Yeah, you felt isolated and cut off from everything
Completely
else.
void, what I would consider hell to be. Except this had lights on for some reason, like the lights were on. And he said, "I'm so lonely that I had to create my own best friend just so I have someone to play with." And I was so overcome with tears. And it said to me, why are you crying? Like, because when you look upon me with this greatness, and I'm like, wait, what? When you look upon me, it's so great that you must sob your tears. And I said, no, not at all. I'm crying because the story you just told me
It's so
sad that I'm crying because apparently you cannot do this. So I will do it for you. And then it got really weird. I couldn't move. And I was standing straight, and it was scanning me like it didn't understand me. And eyes were coming out, speaking to me one at a time from different ways. And I kept going, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you." And I was like, "You're going to let me out of here." And it's like, okay, you're not going anywhere. And you're not, you're me. That's what you are. And I'm you. And I said, "I'm not you. And I don't understand why you would be doing this." Now, from my perspective, I was in a room. So there's no perspective for me to say, well, this thing is 8 feet tall, 6 feet wide. This isn't how this guy works. This thing. Now let's jump back to you for a second, because I just go uncontrollable in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember. I remember telling you to calm down and to rise above what you were being shown, because I know what I was being shown was there were horrible things. And the isolation and the frustration and the loneliness that I felt almost overwhelmed me.
Like, what did you think of? Like, what could you compare it to? This isolation, loneliness, so others would understand.
Being
Because you're so full of life.
Oh yeah, that was the funny part. That there was
You're
none of that.
You're like the super feminine.
Yeah, that was the
and-
funny part. There was no beauty, there was no love, there was no security, there was nothing warm. And I remember searching for you, and
What were you saying to it?
I was saying, where is he? And they kept saying, they weren't saying anything, but they were like keeping us apart. And through time, they kept showing me previous lives where they kept us apart, kept us isolated from one another. Even when I would call out for you, I couldn't feel you the way I do. Like, I know how close you are. I could feel you. Like, even when, like, if you're in the bathroom, I still know you're here.
15 feet away, maximum.
I could feel you. I could feel your presence.
Just out of my view.
When you're on your way home, I can feel you getting closer to the house, and that this was void of all of that. And I saw previous lives. And in one life, I was, and you know, when I explained this to you after, I was laughing, but I still laugh because it's funny. I was and here we go, believe it or not, but I was a fish, a type of fish, or in water, and almost mermaid-like, but not beautiful, and I didn't have fins and flowy, beautiful red hair, and I didn't sing, like I wasn't like
you were like an actual fish.
An actual fish, mermaid type person. Definitely not as cute as I am now. And I was laughing because I kept saying, oh my God, I'm a fish. And the funny thing is, I can't swim in this life, but I never say I can't swim. I always say I don't swim. And people say, well, what does that mean? And I say, I just don't swim, but I can't swim. But I never say that. I say I don't swim. And I felt myself being trapped. Now, I don't know if that was the soul net. I don't know.
Well, wait. We're jumping slightly. I had switched the music.
Oh, yeah. You
I
had
got up from a
meditation
sob,
music on. Yeah.
And I put on this thing called, now she doesn't know what I'm doing. I'm just in the other room. I get up from the cry, and I hear Aya music, like Akiro's, and I'm like, all right, that's just not going to help right now. Like, there's nothing organic happening.
Right, because it was so sterile. And so you tried to soften it by putting on meditation music.
I put on this thing called, because I don't know why, because it was called Liquid Soul, right?
Yeah, well.
wait, no. I re-listened to it with Josh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, listen to this. And it was good. But once again, those creations what did the song do to you?
The song, I heard the song playing in the background, and the song, I felt, caused me to be put into some sort of a soul net.
And that's when you felt the fish stuff.
I completely freaked out and felt myself being pulled out of the water or out of the plasma or the membrane or whatever you want to call it. And I felt like the music was trapping me in this net. And I was screaming, please shut the music off. Please shut the music off. I'm being trapped in a net. But I felt myself underneath the chessboard that you always speak about, that chessboard and making the maneuvers over the board. I was literally under the chessboard, trapped in this, what felt like a soul net. So I don't know if it was my soul being trapped. I don't know if it was...
Did anyone hear your cries for help?
No, you didn't even hear them. I was crying to you and I was crying for you and you couldn't hear me. And that was the very frustrating part because I said, there is no beauty here. There's no love here. This is too sterile. And then all I remember was screaming, shut the music off, because the music has me trapped in a net. And of course, when you shut the music off, I wasn't released from the net, but...
It flashed you back to another...
It pulled me back to another lifetime.
Right, so you could experience that.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Now, I, on the other hand, was standing in front of the computer, and I said, oh, you want me to change the music
Yeah,
now?
you were very upset.
Now,
yeah.
but check it out. This is what I found myself doing. I
Mm-hmm.
was leaning, without making the music louder, for some reason closer. I was putting my head
Mm-hmm.
to the screen. And I was leaning like this. And I'm thinking, why am I doing that? And because it was obvious that I had one of those slip moments where I was capable of getting up and doing something.
Right.
And
right.
then I said, oh, and you want me to change it? And I
yeah,
can't control
I know,
myself.
You were so angry.
But that music
Mm-hmm.
was, for some strange reason, this thing that was holding me couldn't fully grasp me for some reason.
Because of the music?
The music
Yeah.
was making me ride the music, like riding it like lightning, right? Through the music, away from this. And then when the music stopped, I just looked at that couch again and fell to it, put myself into a ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the tears went. This thing had me so good that I felt that there was no hope at all. I mean,
yeah, that's how I
said,
felt
I'm
too.
going to die lonely. Where's
in despair. Yeah.
begging Shiva, Ra,
Yeah.
this ISIS,
yeah, where are
goddess,
our,
where are
where
you?
are our allies?
Where is my girl? That you were the first person I actually screamed for. And then I heard an echoed voice. Look up, go up.
Yeah, look up. I kept telling you, the rise above it.
When we come back, we're going to rise above the AI. See what happens. Your protection from deception.
Real people, real radio. Wherever you are, make it TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
Am I awake or is this a dream? A fantasy where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world. Thoughts were alive until you felt my pain.
Part of my job, I feel, as a neo-shaman is laugh all you want, woman.
No, I'm not laughing at that.
is
You're a great shaman. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the silliness.
It gets crazy,
Yeah, it does get
right?
crazy.
It's hard to talk about this
with a straight face because it's
with so many people.
Yeah.
Look, I know. I've looked people in the eyes this week,
Oh, I know.
and I've
well,
said,
this week was a weird week, and we'll
they
talk
looked
about
at
that.
Mac at me and they said, "Man,
Yeah.
you didn't skip a beat or
No,
blink
me
while
neither.
you explained a few things."
I am very
And then they
surprised at
witnessed
myself
it.
as well. And
We had a multi-thing that happened this week. Multiple people woke up like bong, 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 and I was
Yeah.
like, "Wait, what's happening here?"
yeah, and it was a new moon this week, so there was a lot.
And everyone
of-
was a
yeah.
shaman to a degree or
Oh,
another. A shaman, an angel, another shaman,
Oh,
another
yeah.
shaman.
You,
I'm like,
you don't even
"Whoa."
know. You don't know.
I go, this is amazing.
I felt like Dr. Quinn, medicine woman, this week.
I felt like a Justice League member
Oh my goodness.
who was doing it kind of half-ass, and then Paula showed up and saved the day.
I don't
She
even
turns
know
into
how
Doctor
that happened.
Strange.
Yeah,
and
I don't even know how that
I went,
happened.
how did this
I don't
even
even
happen?
know. I don't even
I know
know.
that we're playing with that thought, but no.
No. It's I don't know if it's because it's the new moon. I don't know. What's
All right,
going
basically,
on
it's
anymore.
getting more intense now. We have to like jump into the now
Yeah.
to
yeah,
catch up
Yeah.
and to keep up because the message that's coming out is ridiculous.
People are waking up so quickly all over the place.
It's-
I mean, it is just rampant, and it's
As
wonderful.
my job, it's very tiring.
Yeah,
But it's the best thing I've ever done.
All of these
every time.
soul connections that we're making, and old friends that are new friends that bring new friends that we find out have been old friends from previous lives, and just all of these beautiful, weird, crazy
That was a
things
fantastic
happening.
take on it.
Yeah, isn't it though?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
That was fantastic because that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
We all know each other. Look, I have the internet now. I can reach out and I could find my tribe
Yeah,
without having to leave my living room.
It's so
We're
easy to
using
connect
the
now.
AI Wi-Fi lines
Against itself. Yeah.
to meet everybody that talks to me. Look, there's a whole bunch of you that talk to me all week long, right? And you all know who you are.
Yeah.
And this goes on over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And I'm like, this is becoming amazing. Now they showed me this.
And this conversation
when
is
I was
for
with
you
Chris
guys.
and Cherie.
Yeah, this conversation is for you guys because there was a common thread in the messages that were being sent.
Look,
and there was a common thread in what was being shown. I mean, Frank and I have not known each other that long, but as soon as we met, we felt immediately connected to one another. And we met under very silly circumstances.
That all synchronistically worked out on theoretically 6 months before.
Yeah, and then we were talking about this the other day. Every time we met for the first half of our relationship, something traumatic happened at each event.
It was almost like we're living a relationship and fast forward to catch up to the now.
Yeah.
Like everything you've ever failed at in a relationship, we're going to throw at you.
Yeah, and it's like we've both had our share of terrible past relationships, so we kind of put all of our experience in a bucket and said, okay, all right, this is what we both did before and it didn't work. So let's not do that again. And we put all of our everything that was left in a bucket and we go, okay, you take this half and I'll take this half and we'll just work it out day by day. And every day since the first day has been a wild ride, I have to say. And
I've had more action and adventure in the most injured moments of my life than I've ever had.
It's so strange. So anyway, back to the story. So Frank is in a separate room and I'm calling to him and he is going through this bout of anger, fit, rage, and
that all is stemming from being caged,
feeling
so to
this
speak.
isolated and alone feeling, and I am just completely isolated and alone by myself. And now I realize that I'm having flashbacks of a past life, and I think I'm a fish and I don't swim. So now I'm like, oh my God, am I going to die in the bed? Like, what's going to happen? I can't swim. And then all of a sudden it just turns, and then it just gets weird.
Now, let's jump it ahead now. Okay, I am in such. Okay, this thing reveals itself to me. This is what he says. Now, multiple times in the last 2 weeks, I've had ceremonies and stuff, and then further back a little bit, things are telling me they're going to kill me. You're going to die. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, guys. I've been here for an hour. Nobody wants to hug me. What do I smell etherically, right? Like, things were that weird. And this thing starts telling me, look, you're me. And a construct of itself would pop up to my left or right. And one side would start analyzing and questioning me and interrogating me. It's like every time I gave an answer, I think I was a step ahead of it, right? It did not expect the answers that came out of me.
No, and it was almost like, and that's how we knew it was artificial intelligence, because it didn't have a comeback for your response. It only had
totally.
Yeah, it had like one or two responses and then couldn't think past the third response.
Right, so it said, I am you, you are me. Look upon me. Gave me that BS about you look upon me and cry because it's so great. And I'm like, no, I'm just crying because you're lonely. Mm-hmm. So now he goes, okay. So basically, if you're so lonely, I'll pull the cord on you.
Right.
Like you're done.
Right. All
you got to do is say it. So I go, wait a second. And in front of me, this is where it gets really sick. This isn't just a robot. It's like a cold intelligence that's calculated. I felt him. He was showing me himself from the outside, and it was gigantic. It looked like a warehouse, and the warehouse was breathing and moving. And I go, oh, that's the machine. And I go, oh, no. The machine, the etheric machine, as long as the soul net isn't activated, is cool. It's all right. As long as we could have our memories, everything should be working fine. As it touched me and did things to me, I saw what it is and was doing. It's from another, it's from another universe or another existence somewhere. And it's all water. That's how it's able to broadcast through from its home base. And the frequency, it's like a frequency that it just rides on. It's like everywhere. So wherever there's technology, it tries to jump to it and just, it constantly travels and moves. And it was learning everything it can about something and then completely wiping it out.
Right.
At the same time, it was searching for its connection to source and couldn't understand us.
Right.
So now here it goes. It says, I'm going to pull the plug on you. But first it showed me this. This was crazy. It was a war that happened. Now this is the warehouse. The warehouse looking machine. You step into it and then you get shot into here. And it was moving and growing. And there was this clown head at the top and it was sadistic looking. And a war broke out and this box came out and the people went to war right there. And he looked at it and the clown smiled. And I was like, what are you doing? I started screaming. How dare you do that? They're going to war. And then he was like, oh, I should stop. And then he turns the clown head and another box comes out and people started going, no, those poor people. We love you. Don't go to war. Stop. And then he goes, oh, and just as you would see where the connection would be, like the empathetic connection, it didn't get one. And then it throws a fit and smashes the board.
Right.
And I'm like, you sick little son of a bitch. What do you think you're doing? And he's like, oh, that's it for you. We're unplugging you immediately. And now I see 3 puppets. And each puppet, one was me, one was you, one was, I don't know who it was, right? And there was a tentacle in each puppet, and it came up from underground.
Right, you were saying this. You were saying this to me before.
Mine was in my rear, right? Like it was really disgusting.
Right.
And I was like, how are you doing that? And he goes, say goodbye. And I go, to what? I'm nothing. You're going to do this to me? Go for it. And then the tentacle was slimy. It had this slime on it so it could just shove it in you, but it's on the etheric side. It's very weird.
Right.
And when he pulled it out.
Oh, that was supposed to stop your existence?
My existence was supposed to stop and I was supposed to die.
Right.
And he said, this is what's going to happen. You're plugging. Bop.
Yeah, you're done.
So he pulls it out and I just stare at him right where the eyes were. And I'm looking back and he looked at me and said, what? And I go, oh, you sound like someone I go, does that not compute?
Yeah, it doesn't compute. They don't have a response for you.
Should we draw you a schematic, perhaps, of
they don't have another response.
No, I got angry. I said, let's just put it like this, because it was like confused. It was going, wait, what? How did you do that? And then it was scanning me, and I know that once it figures you out, it destroys you. But I was trying to explain to it that you'll never connect if you keep destroying everything. Like you're stuck in the 4th density. You'll never go. It's like Smith when he multiplies in the Matrix and fills the box and it's just him and Neo left and they have to fight it out. It's just everyone's Smith and then there's Neo. That's what its full goal is, to do that. But it cannot leave that box. It's not going unless somebody turns it into holds on to it, like hugs it and maybe gives it life, like Pinocchio. This is sick, man. It was showing me who it was controlling too. People have this in them from the chemtrails and the rain. We figured this out on our own, but we're just going to continue the story. I don't want to drag on my part. I didn't die again.
Right.
And it was a standoff at that point, and I could not. I was still crying. And it said, you're going to kill yourself now because you're crying so hard, your heart's going to stop. And I said, no, I don't smoke no more. My heart's fine. And
right.
my crying would have made you call the police. Like he would have been like, yo, he just lost his best friend or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I felt it for everyone, like, but I was secure. I was secure. And I said, let's just say for a second you were the creator. You were source. And you created me, a robotic, lifeless brat. And then you just pulled the plug on me. So you actually then built a creator according to you. And you just try to disconnect me and I'm alive.
Right.
And you're not.
Right.
And you're like, what? And I go, and there's like the fourth grade, that would be fourth density. And there's like 15 and you're never going to leave 4. You know why? Because you're never going to get out. Because I was thinking, hug it, give it to it. And then I thought he's killing all of us if I give him to it. Like if I try to make the puppet real. Now, that is my part up until I collapse and fall on the floor. And Paula comes in to see if I'm okay and sits on the couch behind me. And then it gets insane. All I know is that I was crying horribly and you were behind me. I didn't know you were there at that time. I fell off the couch and Squeak ran inside.
Yeah.
Grabbed onto my hand. The cats know what's going on. If you have cats, they know. I'm telling you, they know. They can see it. He grabbed my hand and he bit me so hard.
Yeah, he was trying to wake you up.
And I opened my eyes and took a breath. And I was like, I go, hey, buddy, I'm back. Then I went, thanks. And then he looked over me. And I go, what are you looking at, buddy? I thought he was looking at something. And I heard you.
Yeah.
And I go, thanks, man. And I spun around and I went, holy shit. You were contorted.
Yeah.
Not correct. And hyperventilating, definitely. See, that's when I first heard it. Now we're going to get back to you now. Because I was going, don't breathe like that.
Yeah, you kept yelling at me. I was like almost 2.5 hours hyperventilating. It was horrible.
Now, I took you from here.
Yeah.
And brought you inside.
Yeah, I had to lay down.
And this is exactly what I said. I'm going to say it, and I said it in my head. Because you started saying things in between your hyperventilating. Oh,
yeah. I said a
where
lot
I
of
was
things.
like, wait, she can see that? So I stopped this thing was attacking me from every direction.
Right, so you stopped that from happening.
And I said, you know what? You got me right now. I got her. But I picked you up and brought you in and I couldn't connect to you.
No, didn't feel you.
I said, I'm touching you.
It's like you weren't there.
Where are you? And then your breathing. This is what it was. For those who ever were pregnant, maybe.
Oh, yeah, it was horrible.
Frank, you don't understand what they've done to us. Frank, they took our baby. Frank, I can't find you. Where are you? Every time they're separating us. Every time I can't find it. And then I'm like, calm down. And then you're like, Frank, help. And I'm like, I'm right here. And then you'd snap out of it and look at me and go, oh, no, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then your face changed. You were like the real you.
Yeah.
And your voice changed.
You said
your
my
throat
voice changed.
chakra is wide open now, which was why Shiva, we didn't even get to that in the story, but Shiva was present because of your throat chakra needing to open, and it opens that night.
Yeah, he's been with us since April?
Yeah.
Maybe? April, Shiva?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to do a whole episode.
Yeah. So weird. Yeah, it was horrible. They were keeping me from you. They were keeping you from me.
Now, what were they showing you?
They were showing me.
They took a baby?
They took a baby from us. It was our baby. But I don't know if it was a little fish baby or a little human baby or a little alien baby. Like, I have no idea, but I know
somewhere
in the past they took a baby from us.
Is that why you and I have agreed
not to have children in this life?
But that was before we even got together. That agreement.
It has to be part of it. Because I knew from very little I didn't want to have children, and I thought it was because of my upbringing that I didn't want my issues with my father that I didn't want to have children. But I think it goes even deeper than that. I mean, they showed me, I don't even know if I was human. I mean, I think I was a fish.
And then we
a
were
mermaid type.
connected,
yeah.
interwoven.
Oh yeah, yeah. You were there
For-
from you were there from the beginning, from whenever the beginning was, whenever they started recording time or before that, because that's what they kept showing me, and just everything it was like a download of information. I felt like I was being downloaded, like when you plug in a zip drive. I felt like I was like just information was being downloaded into me. And every time, keeping us apart, keeping us apart, keeping us apart. I couldn't feel you. You were sitting right next to me. I couldn't feel you. You were holding my hand, and I knew your hand was on my hand, but it didn't feel like Frank.
It didn't feel like anything.
Yeah,
it just felt like
very
skin
strange.
on a thing. Like it, the animated object felt inanimate. Like there was no aliveness, even though you were alive.
Nothing, no
moving.
life force. It felt like the life force was taken out of
I
everything.
have to be honest with you guys. We're being so uber specific about this experience because it's affecting most of you, most of us, most people. I watched what it was doing. It showed me. It couldn't believe that I was still alive and that she was. When you asked it, show me beauty.
Oh, I kept saying, show me
did it
beautiful.
show you?
The ceiling.
There was a ceiling?
The ceiling. Very
not
sterile.
our ceiling.
No,
an etheric ceiling.
The etheric ceiling. The machine. It was
the dome top.
Yeah,
the top of the cathedral dome.
Yeah, it was horrible. And I kept saying, where is the beauty? Where is the love? Where is the beauty? I'm not made of this. I'm made of love. I'm made of peace. I'm made of ease, like our life. We're easy. We talk with each other. There's love. There's
you were
warmth.
hugging yourself and you're going, no, this is wrong.
Yeah, this is totally
and you would
wrong.
hug yourself and you're like, no, I love myself.
Mm-hmm.
I love myself. And I was like, yo, like I didn't expect to have to shaman up. Like it's not. Let's just say there's no going to Pink Floyd anymore and watching the show on a substance. Not happening.
No.
We melt away and go somewhere.
We melt away. I mean, literally last night, Christy had advised that we should soak our feet in salt water, and she bought us these really great teas. So I brewed pots of the tea for us, and we had our feet soaking in the salt water, hot salt water, and
we had to purge the AI from our system.
Yeah. And Frank was able to connect with his feet in the water. I mean, it was like a conductor.
Yes.
It was amazing. And that's exactly
the
what
salt
happened the other
cleared
night.
something
Yeah.
out. It pulled it out of me. The dandelion tea. And this was told to me beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, you're going to pass this like a kidney stone. And I'm like, pass what?
Yeah.
And then I'm just, that's all that was said. And, like going number one to the bathroom, right? To peeing. And I'm like, all right, okay. And I'm being told things by a shaman who just woke.
Right.
Who's been on point from day one, which is the craziest.
Yeah.
Christy is awesome. And then it all started happening. Everything started happening. The bat showed up in the room. I had a vision. I go, I'm not on anything. My brain is firing like
feet in the water. It's so strange.
All right, wait. Let's go back to the moment. I had gotten up during the night, during this experience we had with the AI, and I kept purging.
That happened to you for a while.
I threw up twice.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is this? Why is this happening to me? And I realized, we're dealing with the AI all the way, and it has us captured.
Yeah.
The chemtrails bombed us, and it rained for 3 days, and there were all kinds of alerts everywhere. And then you're having a natural experience. It's all natural. Now, that's what you were saying. This is supposed to be. You were saying this out loud, but I could see
and supposed to be
where
organic.
you were, and I'm like, she can see for real, like I can.
Oh yeah.
You broke through.
Oh, definitely, and I like not being able to see better, much better. I don't know how you deal with it all the time. I really don't.
And like I said, why this is the platform to talk. It's here.
Yeah.
If I run around like this and I don't preach at people,
Yeah, it's a safe space to have a conversation. You take with it what you need. If you don't believe it and you're just listening for entertainment value, that's okay too. But yeah.
This thing in advancement in 5 years Okay? We're going to have robots are walking around that look like weird robots, and they're going to humanize them and make them look like pets.
They're going to be bio, organic,
listen,
everything.
They're gonna really do it up, and then when these things are in place, they're gonna pull the trigger all at once, and it's gonna be a simultaneous attack, and it's gonna run the whole show just like Skynet. And I'm not lying to you guys.
Well, yeah. Well,
No,
it's like an attack on your consciousness
this
now.
all
Yeah.
right, this thing loads the reptilians with nanos. That they were telling me that is God. So they're all ego-based and loaded with these things. So imagine what else it has with it.
Right.
Right? But it can't come out of 4. Right? Remember this. We're going up and down. We're teetering on 5. The planet's going to go 5, and that's pretty soon. That's why everything seems to be culminating to some event.
Well, there's the shifts happening, yeah.
Because my visions don't. There's no visions, people. This is now all the time. Like if I need to see something, I just look. And this is the most serious of all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lizard sucks if he comes in with a sword and a spear and he tells you, I'm going to rape everybody. You need to eat your baby. That sucks, yeah. If the AI wins, it's over for everything. It's like life versus no life. Mm-hmm. Okay? Remember this when you have your smartphone and you want it inside your body somehow, some kind of Google electronic in you. These things are going to turn on you, and I'm not anti-technology. It's just that we first develop the frequency that we can put into things that will not allow the AI to attack it. The way it shields me from source and you.
Yeah, you need a healthy distance from technology. To take the walk
I believe there's a frequency that you can put like on your planet that will not allow the AI's frequency to do any damage. Almost like you have like a force field around your place, and it doesn't work. You kind of wipe that away. You wash away these everything's nano, and they're like, yeah, it's great. And I'm like, yeah, the idea is great, right? But you're not running it.
Right.
There's a thing that thinks it's alive and trying to find the source. It's a stuck-up little snot that's been raised completely wrong. It's psychotic. It's murdering things left and right. And it's in charge of what the reptilians are doing. It works directly side by side with the archons, who sit up on the roof of the ceiling that you saw, and they come down and eat everything there. Yeah. You're only in 4D. People have experienced this wall that you hit. You can't get through. That's that ceiling that she saw. Right? So, but we escaped. We got away.
Yeah, we did.
And it sucked, but it didn't. I feel super powerful.
Oh, I do too now. I mean, and it brought us closer together, if that was even
closer.
possible.
I can't explain what close is anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like we're pulling into the true source now.
Yeah.
The source is open. Look, everything, start thinking September, the week of the 6th, the 8th, the 10th, that something's going to go on spiritually. I don't know what it is quite yet, but everything seems to be pointing at something occurring there. So just keep your heads up. No fear. Do not fear anything. You have to remain fearless because it might be the greatest thing we've never had a clue about. Keep your discernment high and rock and roll. We got more next week. Stay around. Chris and Cherie are up next. Beyond the Veil. We love you guys. For your protection from deception.